calling the regular meeting of the school board to order. Diana, roll call.
Marsha White.
Here.
Nicole Butler. Here. Andrew Usry. Here. Andy Luther. Stephen Lindsay. Ann Fusen. Here. Kelly Ropers. Here.
Okay, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now turning the meeting over to Dr. Wilcox for a report.
Thank you. I would like to invite Ms. Tracy Griffiths up to present a recommendation to change our current ELA curriculum K-8. I do invite all of you to ask questions once she is done presenting our recommendation and engage in open discussion. Tracy, handing it over to you.
Thank you. Good evening, board. So I'm coming tonight to offer a recommendation to change our ELA curriculum materials. We have used our current materials, K through 8, were teacher created, scope and sequence. Our K-5 teachers created the units and assessments over the past few years. And they've used our Fontes and Pinnell materials that are probably about 8 years old. Our 6 through 8 teachers created units and assessments using a variety of materials, including books that they've had in their classroom for a long time, teacher-paid teacher materials. We did do some curriculum writing with the ROE, so that's where our frameworks came from. But we are lacking rigorous writing lessons, and the alignment from K through 8 is missing. So again, our frameworks were created about 6 years ago and revised each summer with slow student growth. There are gaps and inconsistencies in instruction from grade level to grade level. Another thing that's lacking in our current curriculum is that our bilingual dual language classrooms is not the same as our English classrooms at this time. They have different materials. They've tried to mirror those frameworks, but they're not exactly the same, and the materials are not the same. Grades 6 through 8, they don't have the same access to materials as the elementary grades. We need to include daily writing and the writing process. Alignment is needed again, and it's also needed for the state of Illinois' comprehensive reading plan that came out last year. And I believe our current frameworks lack the rigor that should go along with the state standards. So, over the past year, we've piloted an iReady curriculum with mixed results. And then we also reviewed HMH. HMH is a curriculum offered by Houghton Mifflin Harcourt. It aligns with our district strategic planning goal. It has a balance of foundational skills, comprehension, and writing. It's got the support for our diverse learners. K through 8 will utilize the same learning platform, which I've been here, a teacher 25 years ago. We've never had a curriculum that has spanned from kindergarten to 8th grade continuously. So the continuity is huge with this program. Our bilingual classrooms will have the same units and the same materials, just in Spanish. There's a digital resources, so there are times that if you need different leveled reading or different leveled assignments, you can print those out. You can use different lessons online. And then we will have professional development starting this summer, and it will go all the way through the school year next year with coaching and different school improvement days and institute days. So, big question, how is this going to be funded? So, for 2024 and 2025, we still have a significant amount of funds that we have to spend, especially in our school improvement funds. We also use some Title I grant funds that are needed to be spent by July 1. And next year we will have minimal costs from our grants because most of it will come out of this year's budget. In saying that, our next improvement will be math. Eventually, HMH also has a math program that spans, again, kindergarten through 8th. That's the biggest plus, I think, of this program, where iReady, the one that we piloted, isn't going to be ready next year, so that's another year waiting for it to be ready. And it doesn't have a middle school component, it doesn't have Spanish component, and it had mixed reviews for the people that have been using it. So that's why I started looking at another company. So that's my recommendation. Do you have any questions?
Just a question. When we started this program, we partnered with Mundelein Elementary to piggyback off kind of what they were doing. How does this curriculum, what are they doing today? And how does this follow what they have found in terms of success?
Do you mean for dual language?
Well, so you piggybacked off of Mundelein for dual language?
I think they modeled the dual language program after Mundelein.
Right.
So when they started setting up or the beginning works for the dual language program, they went to Mundelein, observed, looked at what they did, how they rolled it out. So
And we hired them and they came in and worked with us to get it going.
So how is this going to complement what we're doing now? So what?
I'm sorry. It's been a couple years in the works, and obviously things have changed. And I'm just wondering what model they're using today and how this is compared to it.
Well, Zed, I know you were just at Mundelein. Do you know what curriculum they use for their dual language program? And I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
Well, one thing this will give us is units that look the same. Right now, there's always, not a division, I would say, but there's a difference. So they'll be like, well, they're doing this and we're doing this. And when we meet in PLCs, it's very hard to talk about data because the data looks different when you have different materials. So this will give continuity between our dual language and our monolingual classrooms so that they can talk about the data because it's going to look similar. The assessments are going to look similar because they don't now.
A little shorter, so excuse me. Hello, good evening. Yes, we were just over at Mundelein School District. We looked at 2 elementary schools to see how they've progressed. They are using a curriculum called Benchmark. And in addition to Benchmark, they're using other resources similar to what we use in dual language, such as Imagine Learning. I do believe that their dual language program and their general ed programs are different. They do not use the same curriculum. They do try to stay in the same theme, similar to what we do here, but they do not have one curriculum piece that is the same for both dual language and general ed.
I did include Ms. Brito on discussions and reviews as well as Ro Torres, who is our coach over at House, so that they could review the materials and help me decide because I'm not the expert in Spanish materials. It looks a little different than the English materials. So I did consult with her and her team so that we can kind of look at it. There's going to be some things that we still need to bridge between the two, but it will be a little bit more similar than what we have now.
You mentioned that funding was go from some grants. Do I take it that all the cost of the program is going to be through the grants, or is there some other district department also?
No, it will all be taken out of grant funding, including all of the professional development.
Thank you.
And did you say this does work with iReady, or is it separate?
So they use MAP still for their, but the assessments that they have built is going to be on the materials. They're all online, the data comes up, it will give you what standards the kids are low in so that teachers can target those skills with those students. So I asked that because we have iReady and they have math. It's not going to make a difference because the lessons are going to be aligned with skills and standards, and there's a scope and sequence that goes along with the standards, which is iReady based.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Our recommendation would be that the board approve our recommendation to move forward with this new curriculum for ELA. Just want to talk about school board meeting dates for next year really quick. I did speak with our board president as well as LRP. We this year did all of our meetings for the most part on the third Wednesday of the month, and we would like to continue that. I know that there were 2 months where we potentially would have to meet on a Wednesday. So Diana and I went through it and switched them to either the Monday after or the Monday before, so that every board meeting falls on a Monday for the coming school year, so that there are none on Wednesdays. So you should have an updated calendar of when the board meeting dates would be. And again, our goal here is just to approve that so that we can move forward with planning for next year. At our retreat over the summer, we had talked about a reward program for board members to be able to give acknowledgement to our staff in the district for excellent work, compliments from the community, or exceptional community involvement. At the last board meeting, I gave each of you the district champion blue ribbon magnet, and today I have a pin. So when you nominate someone for an award, I created a Google form for you to fill out, or you can give me the name and I'll fill it out. And then at each board meeting coming up, we would recognize any staff member, and they would receive both a pin, and I have one for everybody, and then they would also receive a magnet, because all schools, with the exception of Oakcrest, but they will have them soon, have metal door frames, so they would be able to put the magnets around their door frame year over year for any time they receive an award from the board. So that is ready to go. And the last thing I have on here is we also, at our board retreat in the summer, did core beliefs work based on the core beliefs we developed through strategic planning. And I linked them to this. There was the original document that we created collectively. Then I took it to the Superintendent Advisory Committee. They edited some things, changed some definitions ever so slightly, added or changed behaviors. And then we took it to the leadership team to do the exact same work. And what you have there for the revised with leadership team would be our final document. And what I would recommend is that you approve that tonight so that we can move forward with publishing those for the community and begin working with the community on what those are, why we have them, and why they're important to the school district as a whole.
Regarding the approval of the leadership team.
Correct. Are there any questions you have for me? All right, then I would like to hand the meeting back over to Ms. White.
Thank you, Dr. Wilcox. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Roll call.
Andy Luther. Kelly Roper.
Aye.
Nicole Butler.
She said aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Ann Thiessen.
Aye.
And your Usher.
Aye.
All right. Do we have any correspondence? Any questions on old business? All right, moving on. Long-range planning.
Thank you. We did meet this past week. If you read our board report, and Jose pretty much indicated what we had talked about and what's going on in the district. One thing I guess I would bring to your attention is we are researching a new sign for the Oakcrest School street sign, and just doing some investigation where to put it, what to look like, things of that nature. So hopefully we'll have something for you in the near future to review in detail.
Thank you. Finance Committee.
Finance Committee did meet this evening at 5:30 here at the middle school. We did go over some of the items that we've already spoken about, but I'll start with the 2025-2026 administrative contracts. Also went over that purchase possibility for the HMH for ELA. We did talk about new hire and existing staff adjustment, MOU. We did talk about some job descriptions and some questions for the classrooms. We reviewed the monthly finance bills and we approved the treasurer's report and those bills after finding no issues.
Thank you. And CEDAW?
CEDAW did not meet this month.
Thank you. Any questions or comments on the building reports? 8. Any questions or comments on department reports? Do we have any questions or comments from visitors?
No, we don't need to do that. Mr. Versati, welcome.
Thank you.
If you do not know, one of the recommendations for tonight will be to hire Mr. Brian Versati as the principal of Kenneth Murphy Elementary School.
Should I stay?
So he is here tonight. And if you don't know the history of Brian Versati, he was an AP here at the middle school for a couple of years, and then he left and spread his wings to become a principal in Lake Villa at Emmons School District.
Antioch.
In Antioch. Well, I guess it is technically Antioch. And now he is returning to us and is very excited to do so.
I'm glad I'm back.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn into closed session?
Second.
Roll call?
Nicole Butler. Aye. Andrew Estrie. Aye. Kelly Roper. Aye. Ann Houston. Aye. Marcia White.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Okay, we're going into closed session. Thank you. All right, we're back from closed session, back into open session. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Kelly Ropers. Aye. Andrew Estrie.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Nicole Butler. Aye. Ann Peason.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Okay, good. Do I have a motion to approve the 25-26 board meeting dates?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Nicole Butler. Andrew Estrie.
Aye.
Kelly Ropers.
Aye.
Ann Peason.
Aye.
Just one last thing about the calendar that I forgot to say. We are not having a board meeting in July.
No, you can almost put that like.
I'd like to have it close.
You have 5.
Already crowded today.
All right, the next one, do I have a motion for the approval of the administrator title change to Director of Innovation and Technology?
I'll make a motion as modified. Second.
Roll call?
Andrew Estrie.
Aye.
Kelly Ropers.
Aye.
Ann Peason.
Aye.
Nicole Butler. Marcia White.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
All right, passed. Do I have a motion for the approval of the 25-26 administrative contracts?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Nicole Butler. Andy Luther.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Kelly Ropers.
Aye.
Ann Peason.
Aye.
Andrew Estrie.
Aye.
All right. Do I have a motion for the approval of resolution of dismissal of probationary certified staff?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Marcia White.
Aye.
Kelly Ropers.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Ann Peason.
Aye.
Nicole Butler. Andrew Estrie.
Aye.
All right. Do I have a motion for the approval of the resolution to give written notice of reassignment and reclassification?
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
Roll call?
Andrew Estrie.
Got it.
Aye.
Nicole Butler. Andy Luther.
Aye.
Kelly Ropers.
Aye.
Ann Peason.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye. Okay, do I have a motion for the approval of superintendent renewal contract for 2026 through 29?
So moved.
Don't all jump at once.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call?
Kelly Ropers.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
I come back, I'm still thinking.
Oh, jeez.
Aye.
Nicole Butler. Ann Peason.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Andrew Estrie.
Aye.
Do I have a motion for the approval of the consolidated district plan application?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Ann Peason.
Aye.
Kelly Ropers.
Aye.
Nicole Butler. Andrew Estrie.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye. Do I have a motion for the approval of adopting and purchasing the HMH for ELA?
So moved. Second.
Roll call?
Nicole Butler. Andy Luther. Ann Peason.
Aye.
Kelly Ropers.
Aye.
Marcia White.
Aye.
Andrew Estrie.
Aye.
Okay. Do I have a motion for the approval of the new hire and existing staff salary adjustment MOU?
So moved.
Okay, and,
No pressure.
and goes who's second? Nicole?
I'll second.
Oh.
Nicole.
Sorry. Roll call.
Kelly Roberts. Andy Luther. Ann Peason. Andrea Esri. Marcia White.
Aye.
Nicole Butler.
All right, do I have a motion for the approval of the BPE sick bank leave MOU?
So moved.
Roll call.
Andrea Esri. Kelly Roberts. Ann Peason. Nicole Butler. Marcia White.
Aye.
Andy Luther.
Okay, this is the hardest one. Are you really ready for this last one? Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I think we need.
Answer second.
Second.
Roll call.
Andrea Esri. Kelly Roberts. Marcia White.
Aye.
Ann Peason.
I don't know.
Nicole Butler. Andy Luther.
We have
I
a
abstain.
This crowd's rowdy tonight.
It's Ann's last meeting.
We're making Ann do all the work.
Giving her grief.
Yeah, I just got harassed.